Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our class in general mathematics. And as I asked you last time, you are going to answer in advance in the supplementary lesson number 2 supplementary exercises. And I assume that you study for it in advance. Our topic for this afternoon is all about evaluation of function. Evaluation of functions. Okay, so our topic is all about evaluation of functions, and what we gonna do is, if you have a function, say f of x equal to x squared minus 1, and say for example you are asked what is, yes, Mary Grace, are you raising your hand? My concern, Mary Grace Oralio? Wala? Okay, so for example, you are asked what is the value of your f of x if the input is 2. So what you're gonna do is you will just replace the input, the x here, by whatever given. So that is 2, so you will replace x to 2. So it will be 2 squared minus 1. And of course, it will be equal to 4 minus 1, or simply 3. Ano lang kasi yun? And say for example, you are asked what is f of x plus 1? And if you are asked to find what is f of x plus 1, then the input is x plus 1, so whatever input here will be replaced by x plus 1. So it will be now, again, remain your microphone muted, please. Okay, it will be now x plus 1 squared minus 1. Then after that, if you take the square of a binomial, it will be x squared plus 2x plus 1 minus 1. And I think you know it already, because you will just take the square of the first term, twice the product of the first and the second, and square of the last term. Then you subtract the 1. Again, remain your microphone muted, Samantha. Okay, then after that, it will be canceled out. So what is the answer now will be x squared plus 2x. Clear? So that is now the answer if you will evaluate x plus 1 from this function x squared minus 1. Okay? So let us have this example 1a. So the instruction here, evaluate the following function at x equal to x equal to -4. So if you will apply that to a, in a, that is just f of -4. Remember, your a is defined this way. So it will be -4 raised to the power of 3 minus 64. And if you simplify it further, so if you are asked with the -4 raised to 3, that is just telling us that you multiply -4 rather, 4 times itself, right? And if you multiply 4 and 4, it will be +16. And if you multiply it again to -4, that will be equal to -64, right? Sakto ba? 64. So in that case, this is just equal to -64 minus -64. And if you simplify it further, it will be -128, right? So, and that is the answer for letter A. Any question for letter A? Question, clarification? None. Very good. So we're done with the letter A. Let us have number 1B. In the number 1B, your function is g of x. G of x is given by, if you see this notation, it means that is absolute value. The absolute value of 5 is 5. The absolute value of -5 is also +5, because From the definition of absolute value, actually absolute value is given by a piecewise function. The absolute value of x is equal to x if x is greater than or equal to 0. It means if the input here is greater than or equal to 0, the answer is the same on what is given. Okay? Then, and if the input is less than 0 or negative, then the answer here should be the negative of your x. So just remember this. This is the notation, the definition of the absolute value. So ang timanan lang, kung ang gi-input nimo is whatever positive or negative, it will always be the positive of that quantity. So, if you will be applying it in the letter B, remember the input there is -4. It is given here that you will use the -4. If you will apply the input -4, you will follow the same form with this. The same form, it will be now absolute value of -4 cube, right? -4 cube minus 3 x squared. So that is just -4 squared because your x now is -4 plus 3 times the -4 because again the x is -4 minus 1. Okay? And what you will do is you simplify inside. If you will simplify inside, again, a while ago, we know that this is just equal to the negative of 64. So this is now -64. But the -4 squared is just 16. And 16 times 3, pila man ang 16 times 3 and -3 class? Say answer.
-48.
So that is -48. Why negative? Because this is positive times a negative, that will be still negative. Positive times negative is negative. Okay, that's it. Then it will be -12, right? Then minus 1. And if you combine them, if you combine all of them, this one, it will give you 60, right? 60 nino? -60. Kaning duha pod is -65. So you have now -65 minus 60. So it becomes now the absolute value of -125. Since absolute value, your answer will be positive 125. Clear? Is it
Yes,
clear, class? So that is the answer for the letter B. Any questions so far? Any question?
None.
Okay. By the way,
Answer.
let me ask you, paspas ra akong pag-present or okay ra? So that I can adjust it.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Faktora
Okay,
sir.
in case I'm a little bit fast, if my phrasing is a little bit fast, then kindly tell me so that I can adjust it. Okay. The next is letter C. In the letter C, oops, let me change it to black. In the letter C, 1C, your function is given by r of x. But again, the input is -4. And your r of x is just the square root of 5 minus x. But this time, the input x is -4. So it will be now square root of 5 minus the -4. Again, you see 5 minus 5 minus, then the input, which is the -4, so you have the -4. If you simplify it further, the negative of the negative becomes positive. So it will be 5 plus 4, and that is just 9. And the square root of 9 is 3. And that is now the answer for letter C. Clear? Nasabtan? So that is the answer for 1C. Question for 1C before we proceed to 1D. No question? Okay, since walay Walay nangutana, I assume that you understand it. I observe that some are not opening your com. So you will be marked absent. I am scrolling down your faces now. It will be recorded directly. If I see that you are not opening com, then you are marked absent directly. Okay, let's have 1D. 1D. So in 1D, your function is q of x. Q of x. And again, the input is -4. And your function q of x is defined by x plus 3 all over x squared plus 7x plus 12. But this time, the input x will be replaced by -4. So in this portion, it will be -4 plus 3. While in the denominator, it will be -4 squared because of this, plus 7 times -4 because you have 7x plus 12. Then after that, you will simplify it further. Obviously, the answer above is -1. While here, it becomes positive 16. This becomes negative 28, right? Plus 12. So if you simplify it further, it becomes -1 all over. If you add this 2, if you look at here, what is 16 plus 12?
28.
28. So if you will see here, 28 minus 28, that becomes -1 over 0, right? And what you can say about this number? what you've learned in the previous math in your junior high school? What do you know if the denominator of a function is 0? What can you say about
The
that?
answer is 0, sir.
Any
Is 0.
number divided by 0 is not 0. It is
Unidentified, sir.
undefined.
Yes.
Okay? Because a number having a denominator of 0 in the set of real numbers, in the context of real numbers, it is undefined, right? So it is undefined. So that's it for the letter D. Your answer is not 0, ha? Reminder, that is not 0. The number becomes 0 if your numerator is 0 and the denominator is any number except 0. Clear? Okay, let us have number 2. Actually, our objective for this afternoon is to discuss only the evaluation of function, and our examples are from example number 1 and example number 2. So I will be answering this A, C, and E. Letters B and D will be your task. Okay, so let us have first number 2A. So here, by the way, this function given here is called a piecewise function. If you say piecewise function, daghan siya possible nga mga answers depending on the restriction given. Okay? How to read this one? Your f of x is equal to this if the value of your x is less than 2. Something like this is the case. If this is 2, if the value is from here, maybe I will change that to red. If the value of x is less than 2, then you will use that one. You will use 9 minus x squared, rather. 9 minus x squared. And if the value of your x is in between 2 and 10, maybe 10 is here, between 2 and 10, then you will be using the square root of x plus 7. While if the value of your x is greater than or equal 10, apil si 10, ikan kang 10 until the positive infinity, then you will be using the ceiling function x minus 4. Okay? Sabtan? The ceiling function. Okay. So that's it. So that is the piecewise function. So let us have now examples A, B, and A, C, and E rather. Okay, now for 2A, you are asked to find f of 2. Okay, f of 2. Asa mabilong si 2? Is it in the first, second, or third?
Second, sir.
Second, sir,
Second.
second.
As you can see, this is 2 less than or equal to x. So it means 2 is here. So you will be using the form x square root of x plus 7. But this time your x is 2, so you replace this by 2. That will be 2 plus 7. Clear? So it will now give you square root of 9. And the square root of 9 is 3. Okay? Claro? So the answer for 2A is 3. Any questions? I will repeat the very first thing that you will know. You will determine which of this answer here in your piecewise function will be used. Which restriction this value of x belongs. If it belongs to the first, or to the second, or to the third. So you should be careful with that. If you selected it wrong, then automatically your answer is wrong. Okay? 2A is done. Let us have now 2C. This time in 2C, you are asked to find f of negative 3. Now, what case will be used? Is it first, second, or third?
First,
First, and obviously
First.
negative 3 is less than positive 2. So you will be using this form. So you will be using 9 minus x squared. But again, your x is negative 3 this time. So it will be negative 3. Clear? So after that, it will be 9 minus. The negative 3 squared is positive 9. But there is still the negative here, right? And if you simplify it further, it becomes 0. So the answer in 2C is 0. Clear? Sabtan? And for the last one, for the letter E, for the letter E, you are asked to find F2E. You are asked to find f of 1.5. So again, let me ask you, which among the three will be used? First, second, or third? By looking at your x. Yes,
first,
1.5 belongs here. So you will be using the same form, 9 minus blank squared. But again, the input is 1.5. So you use here 1.5. Okay? Then after that, it will be 9 minus, pila mo ng 1.5 squared. Let us use our calculator. 1.5 squared, that is just 2.25, right? 2.25, and if you subtract it from 9, somehow that is just 6.75, right? Am I right?
yes, sir.
Okay, this is now the answer in E. Question? Any question, class?
None, sir.
Okay, I will repeat. Your task is to answer B and D. What you will do, you will be encoding your answer in Word. You type your answer in a Word, and you will be saving your Word file. Ano yung Word? Inyong answer sa 2B, then 2D. You write your name, your section, your modality. Sa inyong papel. Dayon, ang file name ana dapat your name, file name ha, your name, underscore, your section, then your modality. And inyuhan ning i-upload dito sa atuang Google Classroom. Mag-message ko dito niya. Okay, sa inyuhang Google Classroom. Example, my file name will be Jmar Balihon _ example section Kitanglad _ model class. Ana ha? And dapat kini akong makita nga file name para dali ra nako makita ng inyong output. Any question? This is your very first quiz. None. Okay, I think everything is clear and that is good for the day. Dili na to dugayon og ayo para dili kayo ma-stress, no? Mag-chill-chill lang ta at the same time we are learning, right? Anyway, we still have enough time. So, any questions? None?
None,
Sir,
Okay.
I can
For a while, let me end the recording.